Hello there, guys. Welcome back to the world of football. The international break is finally over, and I'm so happy that it is because we get to see Chelsea play football again. Up until mid November when there's another international break, but let's not think about that. Let's think about club football, and here we have the preview for Matchday 8 of the Premier League. Now, Matchday 7 was very interesting. Chelsea drew to Nottingham Forest, but is what it is. We'll see what happens in this match day because there are very interesting games this week. So, we start off with a 12:30 kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with a London derby, Tottenham versus West Ham. Now, I think this will be a very tough game to call because they've beaten each other many times. So their head-to-heads is looking very equal. So this could be a draw or it could go a win for either side. It's a very difficult game to call. So I'm going to go with a Tottenham 2-1 win. And I think the man who's on fire right now for them, Brennan Johnson, is going to score the winner. I just feel like he is. Next game. Now we get on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. First, we have Ipswich versus Everton. Now, Ipswich, I'm going to have a look at the Premier League table right now. They're 17th. So they're not in the relegation zone, at least. Everton are 1 point ahead of them and are in 16th place. So this is a very interesting relegation tussle for these two. I do have, spoiler alert, an Ipswich player in my FPL team, and that is Liam Delap. I think he is going to do something in this game, and I'm going to go Ipswich 2, Everton 1. I think Ipswich will get their first win of the season at home, and it will come against Everton, and Liam Delap will score at least one of those goals. Next, we are on to the banter club of the league so far, Manchester United and Brentford. Now, this game it should be an easy win for Man United, really. But Brentford have been okay this season. Last week, 2 weeks ago, they played Wolves and it was a 5-3 thriller for Brentford. So, Brentford are very difficult to call. They are better at home than they are away. They still have that stupid record of scoring in the first minute or the first 2 minutes of nearly every game for the last 4 weeks. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they do that against Man United, because if they do, then they could go on to win the game. It's at Old Trafford, though. Although Old Trafford is falling down so far, but you never know. Man United could just come up with a win. I'm not going to predict that, though. I'm actually going to predict a draw. A 2-2 draw. I actually think Man United will get something out of this game. But if they don't, I will be laughing. Next, Fulham versus Aston Villa. Now, this game is going to be very interesting because both of these teams have had good starts to the season. Fulham especially. Didn't expect them to be where they are. They are actually 8th in the Premier League table at the moment. And Villa, they're 5th. So, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward start for them. So, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think these teams will cancel each other out. And yeah. Next, Newcastle versus Brighton. Again, another 3 o'clock kickoff. I think that, well, it's at St James's Park this game, so Newcastle will be thinking we've got to win this. Fabian Hertzler has had a good start at his managerial career at Brighton. He's had 2 big wins against Manchester United and Tottenham at home at the Amex. So he'll be very happy with those results, especially that Tottenham one where they were 2-0 down and then they came back 3-2. So, yeah, Brighton will be thinking, we've come back in some games. We could come back in this one as well. But, again, international break can affect players' mentalities. And, yeah, I'm not sure they'll be that up for it. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 Newcastle win. I think it'll be very close. So I'm going to go 1-0 Newcastle. But don't expect, like, actually, you know what? No, I'll stick with 1-0 Newcastle. But don't be surprised if Newcastle beat them by more. Next, Southampton versus Leicester. Now, this could be the game where the Southampton manager could get sacked, because Leicester are also one of the teams to have come up in the Premier League. So, yeah, if Southampton don't win this game, I don't know what game they're winning. I still don't think they'll win, but they could get a draw. Never know. Leicester could have a bad day. But I'm not going to predict that. I'm going to go with a 3-0 Leicester win. Spoiler alert, Jamie Vardy is in my FPL team. So I think he'll do something in this game because he's Jamie Vardy. Now, that's it for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Not going to lie, those 3 o'clock kickoffs are really dead. Apart from those two, actually. Those two will be interesting to see how they play out. But next, we have Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Now, again, FPL spoiler, I do have some Arsenal defenders in my FPL team because I think they'll probably get a clean sheet against Bournemouth. But you never know. Bournemouth could surprise and we could all laugh at Arsenal. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, and their head-to-heads are looking very in favour of Arsenal. So, I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Arsenal. Next, Wolves versus Manchester City. Now, those of you who don't know, this was a very interesting game last season, especially at the Molineux, because it ended 2-1 to Wolves. However, I did think that Man City had some stuff go against them in that game, and Pep, I don't think, even was on the touchline for that game. I think Kevin De Bruyne was even injured. So, I mean, even then, that's no excuse because they've got Phil Foden to fill in that position. But, yeah, I still think... Oh, hang on, where are Wolves in the table? Oh, they're 20th. Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say they'll probably get a draw. But no, they're 20th. They've had such an unbelievably bad record so far. Especially that 6-2 loss to Chelsea. But, you know, I'm going to go with... Oh, it's just a question of how many goals City will score. I'll just go with 3. That would just be standard for them. Now, we go on to the big one. Liverpool versus Chelsea. Battle of the bald managers. Arne Slot versus Enzo Maresca. Now, this game will be live streamed. This will be the first live stream after the international break. Hope that to see all of you watching, and you never know, some of you might join the live stream and give your opinions on what you think is going to happen in the game. But I will be live streaming it. This game is going to be the game of the weekend. I think Obviously, it's at Anfield, so Liverpool will be very fired up. Chelsea do have a good away record, though. So, I don't think Chelsea will lose. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I think we won't win because it's Anfield. Like that atmosphere is going to be very hard to play. But I think we'll get a draw out of it. So, Liverpool 2, Chelsea 2. And the final game, it's Monday Night Football. Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. Now, Nottingham Forest last game actually played Chelsea, so I could give you an insight of how they play. Very defensive, I'll say that now. But they can be broken down, because that's how Chelsea scored their goal against them. But James Ward-Prowse will not be available for this game because he got sent off deliberately. So, yeah, I think that Crystal Palace actually have an edge here and could get the win. I'm actually going to predict that. I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest 0, Crystal Palace 1. I think it's going to be very close. I think Eze, Nketiah, or someone like that will conjure up one moment of magic and will get the goal to give Crystal Palace their first 3 points, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. That is it. Excuse me. That is it for match day 8 of the Premier League, the preview. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys for the live stream for Liverpool versus Chelsea. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys then. Up the Chelsea.